And welcome to everyone to this 29th episode. If I'm not wrong, or is it the 30th? I think it's 29th, but I mean, doesn't really matter. The what matters is that you guys keep tuning in for these shows to ask your questions and just have a conversation on whatever's on your mind. Mostly, this show is centric around Indian cricket, and that remains the case today as well. Uh, Today we're looking at a few finer points. The finer points today include looking at the all-round options for the Indian team going into the World Cup and how are they shaping up for the main tournament. We talk about Hardik, we talk about Jadeja, and we talk about Axar, but the focus will be on Hardik Pandya and his batting. And while during the show, I will also be plugging in updates about the Bangladesh Sri Lanka game that is happening. We have a review show as soon as the game gets over, and there was a preview show as well today. And these shows will be right throughout the Asia Cup. On India match days, we will also have a mid-inning show. So keep that in mind. And yeah, there's one comment that has come in already. It's from Chuchant. I'll take it later. It's a good question, but I first want to set the tone for the show. Um, Nani Kaur says, "Hi guys, hi Nani. Cricket is asking, good evening, Paji. How many World Cup will Shami play? I think this will be his third ODI World Cup, and when it comes to T20s, he's been a part of the 2014, 2016, 2021, and 2022. He's already been a part of four T20 World Cups, and in all four of them, he wasn't really in the scheme of things, but came back. In fact, he made his T20 debut during the his he made his T20I debut in the T20 World Cup itself in 2014. So that's been the thing with Shami. Unknown says, hope we win the toss. Batting first is more important to win. Yeah, but before I take in your questions, as I was saying, today's show is a little specific into how the Indian all-rounders are shaping up, namely Hardik, Jadeja, and Akshar. I wanted to do this show to talk about Hardik Pandya's batting because lately there's been a concern around his batting form. He's not been the same batter, and even if you don't look at the numbers, you just know with the way he's been batting, who the way he's been batting in the IPL and in the last couple of years, even in T20 internationals, he's not the same batter that he was before the pandemic, where he was more of a dasher. He could come in and start hitting from ball one, but he's definitely not the batter right now. Uh, Chuchant is asking, looking at the ODI World Cup squad for India, who's most likely to come in on senior citizen quota? I don't think anyone's coming on that senior citizen quota for sure. Uh, Shom Sharma's asking, Baji, why overseas batters are flexible to bat at any position and do well straight away? Our batters are too rigid to change their position and develop their game. I don't think I agree to this. Yeah, you'd have to quote examples for me to really agree to this. I really don't think that overseas batters are that flexible either because many of them struggle playing spin bowling, and when they are found out in the middle overs when they have to start again spin, they struggle. But anyway, uh, going back to the main point, guys, please, let's just stick to the topic. Let's just talk about Indian all-rounders, particularly Hardik Pandya, and then I'll take the questions. Just bear with me because there are a few important numbers that I want to show to you guys. One is obviously the weakness that our team at cricket.com have been able to analyze when it comes to Hardik Pandya is his weakness versus the hard lens. I've spoken many a times, I've tweeted about this many a times that post the T20I series versus England in early 2021, which was in Ahmedabad, teams found a way to bowl to Hardik Pandya in limited overs, and that was going short at him. And my colleague Anirudh Suresh did a very good article on him, and I've just taken out a few snapshots from that article, the graphics and the numbers to explain it to you guys why Hardik Pandya's batting has gone under has not developed, and where is he really struggling in particular. uh, yeah, a few comments have come in, but really let's just wait. So this is area number one that we have identified, which is Hardik Pandya versus hard lengths, 6 to 8 meter length in ODIs. Now till 2020, His average was 27.8. Since the beginning of 2021, it's 14.6. His strike rate earlier versus that length was 90.9. Now it's 68.2. Balls per dismissal were 30.6. Now it's 21.5. Dot ball percentage has also increased, and his attacking percentage has also gone down against the short ball. So that is one. This is purely against hard lengths, and this is his pitch map. When it comes to getting out to pace, his dismissals against pace in ODI since 2021, barring two dismissals which were on full lengths, and those two again wide of the stumps. You see almost all other dismissals are in the 6 to 8 meter length, or a length which is far shorter than that. So there's a clear problem, and the problem is that Hardik Pandya has been struggling versus short ball and the back of line delivery. And when it is bowled wide, out away from his arc, he's again struggling to make contact to those deliveries. So this is the pace bit of it, and we've seen this even in the IPL, that against hard lengths he does struggle. We saw that even in the last World T20 in Australia, where he got out while trying to cut short deliveries near his body, but he wasn't able to. Even in that game versus Pakistan, he had gotten his eye in, but he was unable to really find boundaries of pacers. So there's a clear chink in his armor over there, and that is something that teams have now started to expose. So this is the other. Now we look at Hardik Pandya versus spin in ODIs. So these are the numbers here. Uh, Till 2020, end of 2020, in ODIs he had scored 421 runs at a strike rate of 140 and an average of 52.63. Now a strike rate of 140 versus spin would have been outstanding even in T20s. This is a strike rate in ODI. So you can understand, if I were to break it down into a run rate format, this basically means that against spin, Hardik Pandya is scoring 8.4 runs per over in ODIs, and that's not a small figure by any stretch of imagination. And it's not that he's just logging and he's taking these chances. He was also not getting out to spin. But from the beginning of 2021, that strike rate has come down by nearly 48 points. That strike rate has come down to 92, and the average has also come down to 42.33. Now, these are not bad numbers. These numbers are not bad. These are still good numbers, but I just want to explain to you how the difference has changed. The dot ball percentage has gone up, even the attacking percentage has come down, and that sort of explains that maybe he's now changing himself into a more dynamic batter. At least he wants to. He just doesn't want to be a dasher alone. But but given his struggles against pace bowling, and him wanting to be a better, wanting to be a more dynamic batter who can anchor, the numbers have come down and the impact has somewhere gone missing. Uh, in the comments, I will also be actually dropping a link of the article that has been done by my colleagues, Anirudh Suresh. Those who really want to read the full article and go deep into the struggles of Hardik Pandya, the batter, they can actually read it here. I'm just uh, you know I've just dropped this link in the comments, and yeah, the links there. For those of you who are watching and really want to go deep into this topic, please read this article. I picked out the major chunks, the major graphics, so that I could explain to you in numbers and give you some hard facts of why and where is Hardik Pandya struggling. There are more facets to it. It's something that you can read in this article, and you'll find out and you'll be able to understand it a lot better why Hardik's been struggling. Uh, you know Pranav Anand's asking, Paji, do we have numbers for an average batter during that same period versus hard length and at the position that he bats? I'm sure we'll be able to find it, but I don't think I have it right now. It's something that we can really find out. But yeah, sure. You can DM me this. I'll ask our statsman Anirudh uh, to actually share these numbers, and allow me to share it with you guys. Now I'll start taking a few questions again, because a lot of them have come in between while I was explaining that. Karan B saying, why can't India arrange power hitting sessions for our white ball bowlers? They can arrange it in their respective natives when they are rested in series as a part of workload management. See, when you have been rested from a series, then I think you really want to rest, and you really don't want to take up anything else. Having said that, what you're saying is correct, that yes, the bowlers should be working on their batting. If someone like Mujibur Rahman could score the fastest ODI 50 for Afghanistan, there is no reason for Indian bowlers to not really get better in terms of their batting. We've already seen someone like Bumrah improve. There's been some improvement by Shami, but they've not been as consistent. Someone like Kuldeep really struggles with finding the boundary, even though he's been a decent first class batter. But I agree with I agree with the main point here, but I don't think that if it can happen really, uh, if it can really happen. If it can really happen during the off season. Allow me a moment. I'm just reaching out to Anirudh and asking for those numbers. Anirudh, I'm just posting the comment on the screen. If you could, if you could find us these numbers, Anirudh, these are the numbers that we are looking at. If you could help us with them, it would be great. If not, then also it's fine. We'll look it up these numbers later. But moving on to next comment. Chuchan says, Paji, many Sena players are very flexible. Maxwell, Travis Head, Butler, Stokes. Butler, yes. Maxwell, yes. Travis Head, I won't really put him in the same league. Uh, Travis Head actually has a problem against the short ball. Against spin, he's better. Stokes has not been playing ODI regularly for us to now really say if he'd be flexible in the same manner. But see, these are four names, and these four names aren't enough. So there would be such players, one each player in every team at some point of time. I feel someone like Rishabh Pant is very flexible in terms of batting in ODIs, so that won't really be a problem. But yeah, one odd batter doesn't really change a lot. Shubham Sharma says, example, Carey batted at top in 2018, 2019, India versus Australia ODI, and now he's batting at 7. Mitch Marsh used to bat at 6 and now at 3. Tom Latham at 4. So it's not that these guys were succeeding. Someone like Mitch Marsh wasn't really doing great while batting at number 6. It's now that when he's moved up the order, he's become better. So I don't think we can really say that they were flexible enough. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Tom Latham is a good example. He's someone who's very good playing the sweep shot, and he's decent versus pace as well. And I believe if New Zealand have to do well in the World Cup, in a month's time, someone like Tom Latham would have to really play spin well and would probably have to hold that fort in the middle overs, and allow other batters to bat around him and attack. Conway and Tom Latham. I think these two guys will be the key because they both play spin well and both of them can bat long. So there's that. DK says Siraj, Bumrah, Prasid should be our first choice fast bowlers. It's about time we should stop our obsession with batting depth and just accept things as they are. I don't think it's an obsession. See, I would have been okay with this if Shardul Thakur had not improved in if Shardul Thakur had not improved in ODI cricket. 2022 was his best year in ODI cricket. He finally got his, like, that year his economy rate was under 6. His career economy is still over 6, but his career strike rate and career average both have come below 30, and those are very good numbers for someone who's bowling in the middle overs. Does he have the tendency to leak runs? Yes, but I believe that tendency to leak runs is more in death overs rather than middle overs. And post the 2019 World Cup, he's Shardul Thakur has the second most wickets in middle overs, in overs 11 to 40 for India. Kuldeep Yadav is the first, and in that period, his average has been 22, his strike rate has been 23. So Shardul Thakur has done decently as that third pacer, and he's continued to improve. And then what he brings with the bat is something that no other Indian bowler can offer. So I think it would be very hard for India to let go of Shardul Thakur, and Shardul Thakur has probably played the second most ODIs for India in the last year and a half. So he's very well in the plans. Also, I'm not even sure if Prasidh Krishna will make the squad. I believe that the four paces that India will select in the World Cup squad will be Bumrah, Siraj, Shami, and Shardul. Uh, and I think Shami will probably miss out in the 11 because it is very likely that India will go in with Shardul Thakur at number 8. And Siraj again has been outstanding. He has played, I think, around 60% of his wickets has that Siraj has picked since 2022 have been in the power play, and he's been very good in the death overs as well. And on this bowling front, again, we have an article by my colleague Hardik who's spoken about how the bowling combination puzzle is something that India can never solve because someone like Prasid offers a lot in middle overs, but Shami has experience, and they have always like to go for players with experience. And if India don't play Shardul, then the highest average amongst the bowlers is of Kuldeep's, and that is around 10. Shami has a batting average of 8.5. So it's something that India can't solve. I'm just going to share this article again in the comments for you guys to read because I believe that will actually, explain the points that I've been trying to make in a much better manner. Uh, this is, I've just posted it. I'll just share it on the screen as well uh, for you guys to have a look at it. So this is the article that I'm talking about. It's written by our writer Hardik Vora. Please do read it. It makes for a very good case about the possible combinations and then what do all possible bowling combinations bring to the table. So it's something that you should read, and yeah, it's something that would really allow you to have your own arguments as well. Uh, Pranav Anand saying, Paji, is extracting natural variation from surfaces more an individual quality and build, or is it more surface dependent? Like some balls hold its line more, or for Mirage, it's different for arm balls, right? See, some of the things in this question I'll be able to answer. It's a quite loaded one, but I think some of it is also instinct driven. There are some bowlers who just are able to extract those natural variations better without even knowing why they are doing it, right? It's just that, sometimes I think for a lot of Bangladeshi bowlers that could be the case because they have grown up on playing on pitches which have been slightly abrasive. They just on instinct know what pace to bowl, what lengths to bowl on such pitches, and then get that natural variation out. Someone like Ashwin, I'm sure he does a lot of studying and is able to develop that individual quality. And it's something which I feel is a combination of a lot of things. It's the instinct that you have as a bowler. It's the inherent quality, and then how much do you improve with experience. Someone like Zahir Khan would use the knuckle ball very well on pitches which had some sort of an abrasive surface or where the ball could grip, and he also knew when to use it, not with the new ball but with the slightly older ball. My mind goes back to the dismissal of Michael Haseen, that 2011 quarterfinal, and the wicket that he got of Devon Smith in Chennai. So it's on, it's on many factors. And talking about like how some balls hold their line a lot more. I think now this comes down to probably the revolutions that the bowler is trying to impart. Sometimes the bowlers know it, sometimes they don't. Yuvraj Singh has gone on record and said that many times he also did not know which way his ball would turn, and he said, if I don't know which way the ball would turn, I don't think the batter can guess. So it's sometimes it's very instinct driven. I don't think sometimes bowlers even know what their ball would do, because they are also sometimes trying various things, and they and we have to understand that not a lot of cricketers out there really study the science of sport, right? They're not really going to study that, okay, on just the way which by which way of release of their ball will they get more dip or will they get more lift. These things are too technical, and it's very difficult to make those changes as well in your bowling action. Nikhil Baiju says lack of a batter who can double up as a part-time swimmer will cost India heavily. Hardik and Jadeja at 6 and 7 is not good enough. I think this is what it is. I don't think I don't think there's anything that uh, that can change now. It is what it is. And see, what people have to realize is that uh, a lot of cricket has changed since 2011. Finger spinners in general have struggled a lot more in ODI cricket as opposed to the spinners, and part-time spinners are mostly finger spinners. So it's not that part-time spinners are going to really solve any issue for the team as such. Uh, Hardik and Jadeja right now are the best possible options for India, and India would have to back them to come good. Looking at Santosh Uddappa saying expected Paji to see in DC jersey. That was drenched. I had a proper workout, and I had to rush back home and get ready. So no way that was going to happen. Chuchan saying, when we are constructing a team, should we focus more on role rather than trying to fitting certain players? We always take player centric approach than team centric thoughts. I tend to agree. That's how teams should be formed, wherein you should look for roles first and then identify the best players for that role, rather than trying to pick players first and then trying to pick a template. I think that's been India's problem in T20s for some time now. Because of the stature of senior players, they've tried to build the team around those senior players rather than really look to make a team which ticks all the boxes in terms of all the batting roles, even the bowling roles. So I tend to agree with you here, Suchant. Just a score update that I want to give to you guys. Sri Lanka are 108 for 3, chasing 165, and there was slight hiccup early on, but I think this partnership is going well, and they should see Sri Lanka home. Natsu Dragneel is asking, Paji, do you see Ishan opening and Gill playing at 5, or Ishan plays at 5? I think Ishan plays at 5. Yeah, so this is something that Pranav Anand was asking. So yeah, we have these numbers in ODI since 2021. Imam ul Haq has an average of 221 after facing 300 balls against paces on good length, 6 to 8 meters, the best amongst batters who have faced 120 balls. Sport fan is asking, would you back Hardik to come up like Aftikar, who scores big when he gets more balls to settle down? He's lately become that kind of batter. So yes, if he gets that chance, he could. Also, before I next take the next question, I want to ask all of you who are watching this show right now that please press the like button and do subscribe to cricket.com if you like our content. There's a lot more to follow in this Asia Cup. Like I said, in every game we will be having a preview show and a review show. Today, as soon as the Sri Lanka Bangladesh game ends, there will be a review show. Please do tune in. There will be Nikhil, there would be Somesh, our other guys, and otherwise as well. I believe that we did a very good preview for the Asia Cup in terms of the articles that we did. We tried to cover as many teams as possible. We looked at player specific issues, and I've shared those two articles in the comments. So please do read it. I think you guys will like it. So yeah, I mean it's something that you guys could have a look at, and you can follow us on social media on Twitter, or now it's called X. We are there as we are cricket on Instagram. We are there as cricket.com underscore official. You can follow me on Twitter at Gurkirat as Gil. On Instagram, I'm there as GillyCricket. So yeah, you can follow me there if you have questions from me. Uh, Nikhil Baju says batting depth lets you bat aggressively and go above par. India won't win World Cups going with so many bowlers. No team has won a World Cup with 4 batsmen and a keeper. I agree on the batting depth and letting you bat aggressively part. And but the one thing that people need to understand is that a lot of teams which have batting depth, they have it without sacrificing their bowling quality. So that is also important. Batting depth lately has become very much like how intent had become when Virat Kohli had started to use that term. People were throwing that term around without really understanding its connotations and its meaning. I believe something similar is lately happening with batting depth. Batting depth is important, but it cannot come at the cost of not having 4 quality bowling options. As long as you have 4 quality bowling options, then batting depth can work. Otherwise, in ODIs, it's very difficult for it to work because you will be end up conceding a lot more runs than you would, and then again, it will put a lot of pressure on your batting. Unknown says even in the 2022 Asia Cup game against Pakistan in the first game, Hardik just survived because they kept mid on against Haris Roth. It's a good observation. I don't know why this person has their name as unknown when they're coming up with few good observations. Chris Noon says we are expecting too much from Hardik. Expecting him to be the impact batter and all rounder is not fair. Strike rate load should be spread across all batsmen and not expected from only one. I tend to agree on that strike rate load bit, but it's the fact is that even the average sort of has come down for Hardik, and the problem is becoming too big. The problem, like I showed the numbers, his average against hard lengths has come down from 27 to 14. He's been struggling against away going spin as well. That was evident in the IPL, and this is something that I didn't really put out. This is some okay. This is versus bowling types. Now, this is Hardik Pandya. Just I'll I'll put out this comment. Just yeah. Okay, so yes, so we are there. Thank you. Sorry for getting confused. Yeah, so this is Hardik Pandya strike rate versus bowling types in all T20s since 2021. We can clearly see that his strike rate versus left arm spin, orthodox spin, is less than 90. It's 89.4. And in ODIs, that strike rate is 69. So that clearly means that there's another weakness. So hard lengths and left arm spin against Hardik Pandya is becoming a concern. And like we showed, that his strike rate overall against spin has come down. It was against left arm pacers it's still one, it's a good strike rate. Against off spinners, again, it's 118.2. Earlier, before till 2020, his strike rate versus spin was around 140, and now it's come down. So there are reasons for concern, and those concerns are genuine, and we thought it was something that it's something that we should address. Anyway, I'm going to go back and take those comments. Just yeah, just so this was the comment. uh, Cricket says India's batting after number 4 does not give confidence. India can't chase 300 if openers gone early. Yeah, that's there. And I think that is something you could say for other teams as well. You could probably say this for Pakistan also, that if they lose two early wickets, or if top three is gone early, they will not be able to chase 300. But they're not giving confidence because Shreyas and KL have been injured for some time, and like I spoke about how Hardik's batting has not been the same. Jadeja has hardly played any ODI cricket, and in IPL his numbers have not been great with the bat. So the problem with Jadeja is not that he can't bat time, because he's been doing very well as a batter in test matches. The problem with again Jadeja is his lack of big shots. So yes, there are concerns, but like I said, at this point of time, these are the two best options, and you really can't change them at the last moment. Suchan says, do you think Indian bowlers don't bat because they don't have to worry about IPL contracts? Should BCCI allow Indian players to play in other leagues that can improve their batting? Okay, I'll answer this, but just let me have a sip of water. See, I think the first part of this question is unfair, because if they improve their batting, they'd get bigger IPL contracts. I mean, a multi-skilled cricketer will always be far more valuable. So the first part of the question, I think it's very unfair. The second part, yes, but I don't think the current active players have time. But they should really allow the retired cricketers, or who are not in the Indian scheme of things, should to play in other leagues, because it's also a question of those players trying to earn their livelihood. I think that is very unfair on BCCI's part, that they don't allow cricketers who are not contracted with the BCCI to who are also not contracted, or those players who want to play in the IPL to not play, especially the Indian players, to not play other leagues. I think it's really unfair. How do you see Australia handle the Marsh Warner conundrum? Will Warner move down the order to unleash Marsh at the top along with Head? Yeah, it's a difficult question to answer. I don't think Australia will change anything. If they lose a few games and if they see Warner struggling at the top, see, ideally this is not something that I am against. I can see the logic because Marsh has been very good versus pace. Warner against high pace has struggled. Warner, against spin is a better batter, and he has been able to. He's someone who can control the innings, and this is something that I think Australia tried in one of the ODIs versus India. I think it happened in that third ODI in Chennai, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it's not something that Australia haven't tried. It can work, it may not work, but would have to see how how bullish are Australia in this regard. Like, are they willing to give someone like Marsh 5 games? Uh, they have a series versus South Africa, but I'm not sure. They would get to know a lot more because the pitches in South Africa are very different to the pitches in India. Pitches in South Africa have a lot more pace and bounce, so even against spinners, I feel Marsh will be able to do better than what he do against spinners in India. uh, because the pitches in India offer a little more grip. So we'll have to wait and see. I am not against this idea. I think it can work, but I just think it's too close to the World Cup. Wilderzone says, "Is an ODI supposed to be ODI inning supposed to be a 3.5 hours long? Why is this match feeling so long?" I don't know why this match is feeling so long, but yes, it's supposed to be a 3.5 hour long innings. Priyanshu Shah says, Paji, on paper, I feel 2023 team is better than 2019. Many people won't agree, but I still believe on paper we have a better team than 2019. Just a matter of time that Rahul and Iyer got match time. On balance, probably, but here's the thing. In the 2019 World Cup, a lot of the current Indian players were at their peaks. Virat Kohli was at its peak. Jasprit Bumrah was at his peak. Rohit Sharma was at his peak. Shikhar Dhawan going into the World Cup was at his peak. I don't think we can really say that about Shubman Gill right now. Uh, India had experience of MS Dhoni. Shami was doing well. There was Bhuvneshwar Kumar who was perfect for conditions in England, and then Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav were they still had some mystery attached to them. Yuzvendra Chahal, I think, was the highest wicket taker among spinners going into the World Cup, and India really did not bother about batting depth until they lost that game to England, wherein they then dropped Yuzvendra Chahal for one game, and then they dropped Kuldeep Yadav in the semis. So because India had batting till late going into that semi-final, I thought that that bowling lineup was slightly risky to get 10 overs out of both Hardik and Jadeja, but India went in with that option. So in terms of balance, yes, it may be better, but the forms and the peak of the players also counts for something. So there's that. I don't think Rohit Sharma is the same ODI batter that he was in 2019. I don't even think that even Virat Kohli is the same batter. So these factors also amount to something, and the injuries to KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer, we don't know how much of an impact they've had on their game so far. So we'll have to wait and see. Uh, Arth Devangan says Jared said that India should have gone with Chahal as he can play better against high league teams and bet against higher and better players who are attacking compared to Kuldeep. What do you think of it? See, if Jared has said this, he might have some numbers and logic attached to it. But I just think on current form, on current form and confidence, I don't think there's a debate between Kuldeep and Chahal. In the last 1 year, I've seen many captains not even trusting Chahal to come and bowl in a period where they really need wickets. Kuldeep, on the other hand, has worked on his skill. He has increased his pace, and increasing pace is one thing, but improving control while increasing pace is completely another. And Kuldeep's been able to do that. So I will have to really watch what Jared said and what was his reasoning behind it. But like I said, I think on current form and everything, I'll still pick Kuldeep ahead of Chahal. With all due respect to Jared, I'm a huge Jared fan myself, but I think I'll have to disagree with him over here. What could be India's game plan if Kuldeep is expensive and goes wicketless in the first few games of the World Cup? Uh, I think They'll then probably play an extra pacer or play Axar Patel and hope that they do. Hope that player does well. Cricket says Shardul is not tested against good teams. He did not play against England in 2022 ODI and Australia 2023. Prasid has expected Shami will go all over the park. That This is a fair point that against England he did not play, and Australia also. Yeah, he probably didn't. But uh, I am not even sure if Prasid will get matches in this Asia Cup. And if he doesn't really get matches in Asia Cup, then it's going to be difficult to select him. Shami, in the last 1.5 year, his numbers have have really not improved. If anything, they have deteriorated slightly. His economy rate has been, above six. His average has gone up, and he's not been picking wickets with the new ball either. The problem that has been there for India somewhat is that India also haven't really played a regular ODI cricket. In T20, in 2020, there was hardly any uh, ODI cricket, and I think in 2021 also India played only six ODI matches. Three versus England in the beginning of the year. Then there was the second COVID wave, and then I think they played three in Sri Lanka, where hardly anyone from the first team was there. So that has been a problem for the Indian team in this regard. And then they played ODIs in 2022. So Shami, but I understand, and that is why I've shared that article. With Prasid, what you get is someone who can extract extra bounce, and can be a handful in the middle overs. But like I said, he's not played a lot of cricket. India like experience, and India like batting that. So there's that. Vasant Narayan's asking, what can India learn from Asia Cup with respect to all-rounders? If Hardik disappoints, what is the backup plan for India? Do you see some changes? I don't think India have a backup for Hardik Pandya. If Hardik Pandya is injured, then it is better that India play a proper batter in his place and then back the five bowlers to do the job, because right now there is no ready replacement for Hardik Pandya. It's as simple as that. Given India hasn't added Samson to the squad, what happens if Ishan gets injured mid-match in the Pakistan or Nepal game and cannot continue to keep? Sorry, then India will have to take permission from the match referee to have Sanju Samson come and take the gloves. Chuchan saying, how fearful are you from Indian top order collapsing against Shaheen and Naseem? I think Gill and Rohit will depart early tomorrow. I think you mean day after. Uh, when it comes to Gill, I think this Asia Cup could really test him, because the ball has been moving around in Sri Lanka. We saw that in the Afghanistan Pakistan ODIs. We saw it today also. And Naseem is very accurate. He can bring the ball back in. So can Shaheen, and so can Haris Rauf. So he'll have to be very, very careful against the ball that comes in. And all three of them are capable of bringing that ball in at pace. So there's that. With Rohit, again, the left arm angle is the key. I'd really want to see that who wants to take strike tomorrow against Shaheen. It's going to require some guts, because Shaheen taking a wicket early in his first over or in his first over is is one of the most inevitable things in cricket right now. I don't know if there was anything as inevitable as this for any cricketer in the years of cricket that I have watched than it has been for Shaheen to pick up a wicket with the new ball. It's especially in his first over. So, but the good thing is that after 2 overs, he's not been picking that many wickets. We put out a tweet yesterday wherein most of his wickets are coming in his first 2 overs, and then in the next 3 overs, it becomes easier to play him. So there's that. Might as well play him out in this 2 overs, play out maidens, but don't lose your wicket. Arth Devangan says all athletes go through injuries in long career, but do you think this frequent injuries to Indian players like Bumrah, Pant, and Shreyas can hamper their longevity? In case of fast bowlers, it certainly does. Pant, again, I don't know how much after his accident will he be able to keep or not be able to keep. Shreyas, it was a recurring back injury. Uh, See, I'm not a physiotherapist or a medical professional to really say anything on this with confidence. So I'll have to wait for the reports that come out to really say anything. But in case of Bumrah, I think yes, it will definitely affect his longevity without a doubt. Karan B says, "Is Hardik declines one of the main reason Rohit wants Sky in the squad?" Could be. It's a very good question, and it's a line of thinking that I don't think many have been able to come up with and been able to think that way. But yes, this makes sense. If India are not confident of Hardik the batter, and they think that he cannot attack at the death, then yeah, maybe it could be a reason. So this is a very good point actually from Kanan, and it could be one of the reasons, but we can't say for sure. Shubham Sharma says, why no batter in world has been able to sort out Shaheen's deadly swinging Yorkers at the top? I don't know, man. I think because it's because just the way they tail in. Uh, I I just think as a batter, it's very difficult to, and especially at that pace, because as a batter, your first instinct always is to play the first line of the ball, and the first line of the ball is something, with the left armor, is something that you feel is going to leave you, or you'd probably try and follow that line with the angle. But the way it comes in, and the way it comes in at pace, and sometimes it's also dipping, it really becomes difficult. Like I said, it's one of the most inevitable things, and it requires a lot of skill to keep those balls out. uh, Hopefully Indian batters can do that. Chujant Paji is asking, Paji, what will be the aftermath if we don't win Asia Cup? Will you feel confident of India's chances in World Cup if we don't win Asia Cup? See, I'm not really confident of their chances in the World Cup even now, and I won't really be confident of their chances of winning the World Cup even if they win the Asia Cup, because uh, you know four top. You could say that five top sides are not there. There is no England, there is no New Zealand, there is no South Africa, there's no Australia, and yeah, four top sides are not there. I mean, you'd expect India to win against Netherlands. So, and the pitches are different. Aftermath is that if India say adopt a batting depth strategy and it doesn't work out, then we could see them go out and probably drop Shardul Thakur and go back to playing three proper bowlers. And if India do play in with three proper bowlers and do lose, then they could probably go back to having Shardul Thakur at eight. So this could be the aftermath. That is all. I don't see any other aftermath. Nikhil Baju says Warner has declined versus high pace. Makes more sense at four if at all. Marsh Head is a destructive player and probably the most explosive player potentially. I tend to agree with you, Nikhil. I don't disagree. And this is something what I said. I don't know why I just saw your comment right now, but I'm sorry. But yeah, I tend to agree with that. Anyway, guys who are watching, please like the video and please subscribe to cricket.com. If you like our content, ask friends and family to follow it. You can follow us on social media as well. We are there as We Are Cricket on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. On Instagram, we are there as cricket.com_official. We are also there on Facebook if you use that platform. Uh, Many don't, but we're still there. We have a decent amount of audience over there. If you want to talk to me, if you want to ask questions, if you have any questions for me, or if you want to ask anything to me, you can again follow me on Gurkirat S Gill on Twitter. On Instagram, I am there as GillyCricket. And now I'll move on to taking the questions. This plug is important. And just right now, wicket has fallen. The partnership is being broken between Sadira and Asalanka. It's 121 for 4, but probably a little too late. However, around the same time is when Bangladesh collapsed. So we don't know if there could be a similar collapse. Let's hope there is. Tanmay Agarwal is asking, if 2nd September game reduces to 20-30 overs, what changes do you expect to the ODI playing 11? Will Rohit be brave enough to drop himself and let Gil Kishan open with Kohli at 3 and Surya at 4? There's no way Rohit's dropping himself. But I think what could happen is that India could probably go in with a bowler shot and play an extra batter. They could play Surya in place of an extra bowler. That could happen. I think someone would need to get out for a reserve to come in. That's a very good stat by Nikhil Baju. He says post 2019 World Cup spinners have averaged 44 in India in ODI, second worst place for spin after New Zealand, economy of 5.62 as well. Excellent, Nikhil. Kanan he says, doesn't this ODI World Cup play a key part in deciding future of ODI cricket? Supportive pitches with 240 to 70 kind of games like the old would keep ODI cricket alive. Uh, I think ODI cricket would probably only be relevant during the World Cup years. I don't think a lot of ODI cricket in general has been played between 2019 to 2023. And even when it's been played, I'm not sure if it was watched with as keen an interest. I thought the ODI Super League was a step in the right direction because it was ensuring that the top teams play the bottom teams for points, and that is what that was, ensuring qualification. It also meant that the lower ranked teams had something to play for. The fact that that now has been scrapped means that big teams could just refuse to play smaller teams, something that Australia do very often. So yeah, I mean the future of ODI cricket, uh, I'm not really I'm not really sure if it's very bright, but I think more than the World Cup, the scrapping of the Super League has had a part to play in it. And yeah, it was a very bad decision. And the fact that ICC has had last two World Cups with only 10 teams is a little sad because we saw how good the qualifiers were. Ideally, if nothing more, this World Cup should have had 14 teams. For me, the best format that the World Cup has ever had is the one that was there in the 2007 World Cup. It's a shame that India and Pakistan got lost, knocked out, and that meant that ICC had to redo the tournament because of the financial losses occurred. They suffered. But if you think about it, teams were carrying points from the group stages, and there was a Super Eight. Those Super Eight were competitive, and you allowed a chance for smaller teams to come forward and play the Super Eights. Bangladesh had beaten South Africa in Super Eights. Ireland had beaten Bangladesh in Super Eight. So it really boded well for the game. So, and see, if teams have come in till this stage, right, to the World Cup, they also deserve a few games against the top teams, which is what happened in 2011 and 2015, and I like that too. But this, I think, is just cruel on the associate teams to just not allow them the opportunity to compete at the World Cup. I know some would say, "Oh, there's the qualifier," but really, I mean, 10 teams. How is that a World Cup? How is this different from a Champions Trophy in terms of the number of teams that is there? What is the weather prediction on Saturday, man? Will we get a short game if not full? There is prediction for rain. There is rain throughout the day. But in Sri Lanka, given the fact that the groundsmen cover the entire ground and the groundsmen are fantastic, I don't think it would be it would be a washout. If rain stops, I see play happening. A washout will only be there if rain doesn't stop. Uh, How does Stoke balance the side if he can't bowl? He doesn't, but he's been picked on his reputation. And see, I think in crunch times and crunch moments, he will bowl, come what may. Babar Azam has a very good technique. It is difficult to get him out. And does Bumrah ever have got Babar? I don't think so. Let me just check this for you. Give me a moment. Just a moment. No, so Bumrah hasn't got Babar Azam out, but the sample space has been too small. There was this one game in 2017, which was obviously the Champions Trophy final. Then one game in 2018, which was the Asia Cup game, and or probably and then in the 2019 World Cup there was this one game. So Babar Azam has played 26 balls of Jasprit Bumrah and scored 17 runs without being dismissed. So it's there's nothing to see there. In T20Is they have met once, which was a 2021 World T20 game, and Babar Azam scored 13 runs of 10 balls of Bumrah. So that's what that's all that is there to this. Anyway, there are no more questions that are there, but the crux of this video was to talk about India's all-round options, mainly Hardik Pandya. We did not really talk that much about Ravindra Jadeja because he's not played a lot of cricket, ODI cricket to be specific. And in T20s, his batting has not been as explosive. In Test matches, he's been doing very well. I feel that, in some conditions where the batting is difficult, especially if the ball is moving around, India can promote him, given how well he's been against the moving ball in Test cricket. It's something that India can look at, but his game against Finn has really not been that great for India to have a lot of confidence to send him up the order to take on leg spin or left arm spin. So there is that. Akshar Patel is really not getting into the scheme of things. By the way, another wicket has fallen. It's 128 for 5. Dhananjay De Silva has been dismissed by Shakib Al Hasan. Still 37 runs for Sri Lanka to get, 19 overs to go. Is there a collapse? I don't know. But whatever happens in the game, do not forget to tune into our post-match review show. There will be Nikhil, there will be Avnish, there will be Somesh, and they will have a lot to discuss. So do tune into that. But anyway, I hope you like the show. Please go through the two links that I shared. I will be sharing their links again of the articles for those who have tuned in right now. Uh, this link that I'm sharing right now is on Hardik Pandya, the batter in ODIs. So please have a look. And this article is about India's bowling combinations. So please read them, share your thoughts. If you like them, share it with your friends. And there are some very good numbers that you can also, have a look at, and they will provide you a crux of the whole situation. And our writers really put in a lot of effort in these articles. So please do read it, and I'm sure you'll like it. Subodh Chauhan's asking, is Babar good enough to compare him with Fab Four batsmen of the world? Yeah, I mean you can, especially in ODIs. No reason why you can't. In Test matches, I think he still has some way to go, but in ODIs you definitely can. Anyway, really enjoyed doing the show. Really liked the fact that you guys came up with so many questions, and you felt that this could be a place for a good discussion. I always love it when you guys have loads of questions. Sometimes it can get overwhelming, but at the same time I realize it only happens because you think that I'm worthy enough of answering those questions. If you like the show, please press the like button, subscribe to cricket.com. You can also follow us on our social media on Twitter/X. We are there as we are cricket. On Instagram we are there as cricket.com_official. If you want to discuss cricket with me, you can follow me on Gurkirat as Gill on Twitter or X, and on Instagram I'm there as GillyCricket. Cricket.com is also there on Facebook, so you can do that. You can, if you are active on Facebook, you can press like and check them out there. But this is pretty much about it for today's show. I hope you guys liked it, and do tune in to the review show of this game, and let's hope for a collapse. Who knows, there could be some Nagin celebrations at the end, as what has been the case in the last few fixtures between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Goodbye, good night. I hope you guys have a good night, and you really enjoy the match and have loads of cricket to look forward to. Thank you so much. Bye bye.